Hello everyone, in this video I will be showing you how to use the simulation. So you just need to click on the link and then you're going to be over here, and this is the first page that you guys are going to see. So for the experiment I already put what you need to set up. So you're going to have curvature radius as 0.8, you're going to use principal rays, and then refractive index should be 1.55. So if you are having difficulty, just go down, so it's going to be easier to make changes, because if you're too close, then tiny bit of changes are going to create huge changes, but if you go really far away from it, then you will be able to make more accurate or simple changes. Alright, so 155, there you go. And diameter is going to stay as 0.8, and your object is going to be the arrow. And I expect you guys to move this guy. As you can see, you can move those around, you can move the lens. So this is the only thing that you can touch because that's the image. So we don't really know where it's going to be. So we just can't change the location of it. The lens, and sorry, the diameter should be 1.3, so you're just going to move it all the way up. So you're going to need a ruler, and then you are going to place this lens, in the initial case, 180 centimeters away from the object. Alright, so this is critical, that's why I wanted to actually show you this video. So what is your reference for the measurements? So the tip of the object is going to be your reference, and if you look at it, this ruler is going to increase by 10, 20, 30, 40. So to be able to go from one point to another, you basically have 10 separations, and 10 separation is equal to 20. That means each unit is actually equal to 2 centimeters. So this entire thing is 180, 190, 200 centimeters, which is 2 meters. But each unit is basically 2 units. That's what you need to be careful of. And this end is equal to 0 centimeters. So if you are placing this guy, you got to make sure that this 0 is basically the tip of the ruler. So why is it the tip? Because tip is basically 1 point, but if you are trying to put this somewhere over here, it's going to be confusing to figure out where the actual object is. And when you are measuring your distance for the lens, so you see it's a little bit transparent and you can see where it is if you actually put it at the center. So that's basically a reference for me. So you can just put it over here, and then that's going to, you will be able to see where 180 is. So from this all the way end and the tip of the object to the center of the lens. So one important tip for the lens movement, so sometimes your lens is going to be, you're going to need a little bit lower to be able to get the image better at this part later on. So you can move this up and down. There's no problem with moving it up and down. It's not going to change the location of the image. It will just change the alignment, not the alignment, but its vertical location of the image. So it's better to play with this lens up and down if you guys are not able to find the image where you want it to be. Alright, and then you will see what I mean in a second. Alright, so this is your initial setup basically. After this, all you have to do, this is basically the data set that you guys can actually have access to, that's going to be in your classroom. So you will be able to see this, and then you will be able to use that. There's no problem with that, so you don't need to create that. You just use the one that I made. So object distance is at 180 centimeters, and then we are trying to figure out the image distance. So in this case, what we need to do, so object distance, this is my object, this is my lens, and then this distance is 180, and then I'm trying to figure out the lens, the image distance. So this is my image. So image distance is basically going to go from lens, and remember this all the way left is your 0, so that means you're going to put that 0 to the center of the lens, and then you are basically trying to figure out the location of your image. So to be able to get the image precisely, then you can just move this ruler better and then try to figure out where it actually falls at the edge of it. So right now, as you can see, I tried, it's not able to zoom in, so it's going to be a little bit tough to figure out the locations, but you will be able to get all of the numbers. So this is 120, this is 122, it's pretty close to 122, so I would put 121.5. Alright, and then you basically keep doing this. And then what are you going to do? You're going to bring this guy back to your 0. And to be able to figure this out, instead of looking at the left side, try to look at this side. So that's going to make it more accurate because that was your initial 180. So after this, instead of moving the object, try to move the lens closer to the object. And then after this, you're going to go with 20 centimeters. Move over here, move your ruler, figure out the distance, record it. Then move it back, bring it to 140. So it's going to keep going like this. And then I want you guys to recognize something. The image, what's happening to the image as you get closer and closer. And one of the questions will be, at what location is the image size and the object size are closest to one another? Alright, so I am going to be basically asking those questions in the assignment paper, so please pay attention to those behaviors of the lens and how we actually create images on lenses. And after some point, you're not going to be able to see the image here. So what I was trying to say was this. So you see, at this point, you're not going to be able to actually have the image over here. And at this point, you might want to bring this up and down so it's going to be right on the line, so you will be able to actually measure the distance better. Alright, another tip, and the last tip that you might need for this. So this is longer than the meter stick. So how are we going to measure the distance? Well, there's not really a really good way of measuring it. So the best way that you can do is just put your finger or put something on this computer screen and figure out where this location is, and then hold your hand or whatever you put there, and then just keep moving it, and then you just place it. So it's going to be an eyeball thing, but it should be good enough for us because the rest of the images or rest of the measurements can be done accurately. Alright, I hope that's going to be helpful for you guys, and then if you guys still have questions, you can still ask me. Alright, thank you for watching. See you next time.